You think you know fear? You've seen the empty halls and the endless yellow walls, but you haven't met them. In the dark corners of the backrooms, something moves. Wooden dolls that hunt at night, faceless things that wear your skin, and eyes that watch from every window. They're not stories, they're waiting. Every level has its own nightmare, and every nightmare has a name. From the animations to the skin stealer, from the Howler to the thing below level 7. Welcome to the other side of the backrooms. Welcome to Save Room Archives. And today we're going to dig into lore of every entity from Escape the Backrooms horror game. Before we begin, you need to know that my channel is a month old. That means every like and sub are extremely important for its growth. And now, let's dive into Backrooms. The animations. Entity 32. When the sun sets in level 94, the air changes. The sky bleeds into a strange violet haze, and the empty streets of a cartoonish neighborhood fall silent. That's when they wake up. They're called animations. Entity 32. Wooden puppets that once might have been toys, now twisted echoes of life, moving without strings. Their eyes glow a faint, hellish red, cutting through the dark like burning embers. Each joint cracks and snaps as they walk, smooth yet unnatural, like something pretending to be alive. By day, the neighborhood feels almost safe. Too safe. But as the sun sinks below the horizon, animations begin to spawn, crawling from doorways, alleys, and shadows. They travel in groups, moving faster than any wanderer could hope to run. If they see you, there's no negotiation, no mercy, only the hunt. You might think you're safe inside a house, but if they suspect you're there, they'll knock, once, twice, and if you don't hide quickly, under the bed or in the closet, they'll break in. You'll hear the creak of wooden feet behind you, and that's the last sound you'll ever remember. When dawn arrives, they vanish. No bodies, no trace, only silence, and the knowledge that they'll return the next night. Researchers believe these puppets are remnants, manifestations of artificial joy from level 94's false world, a reflection of its twisted idea of happiness. Once, the level was ruled by smilers after dark. Now, the puppets have taken their place, as if the backrooms itself is rewriting its nightmares. If you ever see the sky turn purple, run inside, turn off the lights, and pray the animations don't find you. The Animated King, Entity 33. They say the throne is forever lonely, yet here, power wears a clown's mask. The Animated King reigns in the highest reaches of level 94, a plastic clown with green hair, bright gloves, a purple and yellow outfit, and oversized green shoes. Beneath this cheerful costume lies something far more ruthless. At first, he stands still on a podium in the floating castle, watching all who enter. But when you look away for only a couple of seconds, he disappears. Darkness floods the level, the lights die, and the hunt begins. He teleports unpredictably behind wanderers, appearing in places you don't expect. He only attacks where you are not looking. The king is faster than any wanderer. If he reaches you, he deals a crushing blow with his hammer. Aranae Membri, Entity 62. They linger above the ceilings, in the dark hollows, where dust settles and the air grows cold. These are not mere shadows. They are creatures, hidden and waiting. They are called Aranae Membri, a massive, spider-like quadruped with limbs that splay like the legs of a nightmare, and a skull of a cow perched where a face should be. You first meet them on level 188, wandering the eerily quiet corridors of a sinister hotel. They roam the hotel floor hunched beneath vent grates, or emerge through vents in the ceiling, collapsing the barrier above and falling into the halls below. As soon as you approach, they drop out from above and begin the chase. They hunt with terrifying speed. In straight hallways, they hurtle forward at up to 50 miles per hour, smashing through walls, knocking over obstacles with momentum, and crushing anyone who dares run. Once they strike, they drag their victims back through the same hole in the ceiling through which they fell, disappearing into darkness. Yet they are not omniscient. Their intelligence is low. If the prey flees into winding turns or hides long enough, they often forget the trail and abandon the chase. The Bone Thief, Entity 121. Deep inside level 0.2, behind the walls in a dark hole, something lingers. A creature seemingly still, grotesque in form. A large being of sickly, bumpy yellow skin, with stubby, odd shape and two strange eyes hidden within a cavernous mouth. This is the bone thief. It is deceivingly stationary. It does not roam freely. It lingers within its hole in the wall, silent and patiently waiting. Wander too close, and the hole becomes a trap. Its eyes inside the mouth watch every movement. Its skin colored yellow. Its mouth wide open, concealing those hidden orbs of sight that strike when you approach. In its territory, it is merciless. It kills any wanderer who dares to cross the threshold. One moment you approach. Next moment, you are stripped of your bones. The process is sudden and impossible to witness. Bones removed cleanly, leaving behind a boneless body. No sound, no struggle, just a shell. It is not a creature of brute speed or cunning pursuit. Instead, it bides its time in darkness, choosing its victims with precision. The only way out is not confrontation. Flip the available switch, power on the exit mechanism, then dash to safety. Enter its domain, and you risk everything. The lore says the developer intended this creature to appear cute and cuddly at first glance, but the disguise is deceptive. Beneath the harmless shape lies cruelty. Approaching it is the gravest mistake. If you ever find yourself standing at that wall, imagine the void behind it, a maw where light does not reach, where hidden eyes await. Don't stare into the hole. Don't step too close. Flip the switch. Run. Keep your bones. The Clump. In the infinite shifting halls of the backrooms, there moves a monstrosity unlike any other, a mass of limbs, a writhing cluster of arms, all pulled together into one disturbing form. This creature is known as the Clump. Born from discarded flesh and animated limbs, it exists as a jumbled layout of arms, each emerging at different angles, each reaching in all directions. At its center lies a blood-red, gaping maw, seemingly its only torso, with sharp teeth ready to devour any wanderer foolish enough to come near. The Clump appears in especially tight, cramped spaces, corridors and narrow rooms where its many arms can stretch and lash out. It favors levels where movement is restricted, places where walls press close and ceilings loom low. It's been sighted in Level 1 and the underwater sublevel known as 37.2. When it hunts, it moves with alarming speed and agility. It uses its limbs to swipe across the floor, propelling itself forward. When it gets within reach, about 8 feet, it extends its longest limb to snatch its prey, dragging them into its center where the mouth waits. There, the victim is pulled in and consumed, but it does not always attack immediately. There are reports of clumps wandering aimlessly or even ignoring passing wanderers unless provoked or disturbed. The creature's biology is bizarre. Each limb is of different length, with muscular structure varying widely. Some limbs end in eyes, ears, or other sensory organs hidden among the mass. Dead or live specimens have dry, brittle skin. Their bones underneath are fragile. Some clumps, when wounded, will burrow into walls or floors, entering a dormant state. Only a single long limb remains visible, while the rest is hidden in the ground. If a clump is harmed in that state, it appears new smaller clumps may begin to sprout from the ground around its remains. So if you find yourself trapped in narrow corridors, hearing faint rustles behind walls, stay silent, because the clump is always hungry, and it never forgets. Faceling, Entity 9. Facelings resemble humans in almost every way, though something is deeply off. Their bodies are humanoid, their posture familiar, their clothing often that of workers or wanderers, but their faces are blank voids, no features, no expression, no trace of recognition. They lack shoes, too, as if springing from some unfinished idea of humanity. They first appear on Level 10, wandering the road that cuts through wide wheat fields and past old windmills. The tall stalks hide their presence, letting them sneak close. Some carry chainsaws, others simply follow from the wheat, silent and still, until you notice them behind you. Facelings come in two distinct types. The stalker variety skulks behind wanderers in the fields, approaching silently. If you dare to look back, they vanish into the wheat, retreating when stared at. But they are relentless. They try again and again until you reach the barn at the end of the road. The farmer faceling is more aggressive. Once you turn on the windmills, it activates a chainsaw and gives chase through the field, pursuing you relentlessly. To survive, constant vigilance is key. Every few seconds, turn around and stare into the field. A faceling lurking will see your gaze and retreat into the wheat. Don't walk forward blindly. Give yourself time to spot them. If you hear the roar of the chainsaw, don't follow it. Use speed or items to put as much distance as possible. The sound indicates the farmer type. Outrun it until you lose its sound. Lore suggests these creatures are not just distorted entities, but echoes of people. Some are passive, going about human-like routines, jogging, cleaning, driving, even working as officers or firefighters. Others become hostile, attacking wanderers without warning. They can shift behavior unpredictably. Facelings communicate, but only a tiny fraction can speak. Most are silent, using gestures or strange signs. Some maintain entire social hierarchies, families, and roles, hinting at a vanished humanity trapped in this strange realm. Whether they are threat or mimic, one thing is certain. In the backrooms, even the faceless are watching. Deathmoths, Entity 4. In the dim, abandoned corners of the backrooms, there lurk creatures both deceptive and deadly. Moths twisted into monstrous forms. They come in two genders, each with a distinct presence. Males are small, quiet gray moths that hover gently near flickering lights or in hidden nests. They are relatively harmless, even tameable under certain conditions. Females, however, are towering monstrosities. Massive moths, black, white, and gray, with a distinctive skull-like pattern on their backs. At rest, they cling to walls, but get too close, and they erupt in rage. They let out a rattling sound, then launch after the wanderer with wings that can stretch huge distances. The environment matters. Females are most dangerous near their nests or in their hives. If they catch a wanderer, they seize them with acid-spitting jaws and 6 powerful legs, dragging victims deep into the nest to be consumed. Males, in contrast, care for the structure, gathering dead flesh and building hives with silk, keeping a warm, humid environment for eggs and larvae. Deathmoths also exist as larvae and eggs inside elaborate nests guarded by the females. The larvae are aggressive feeders, consuming organic material to grow rapidly until pupation and transformation into adult moths. Light is both a blessing and a curse. Deathmoths are drawn to light, and even a slight flicker can draw them near. Their origin is murky. They are considered ancient predators, deeply woven into the ecosystem of the backrooms, with evidence of humans capturing or taming males in past eras. Their nests are fortified with the wings' powder and acidic secretions, allowing them to dominate entire levels. If you wander into corridors where faint buzzing becomes fluttering shadows, slow your step, turn off lights, stay low, and pray you do not awaken a female deathmoth guarding her hive. Hound, Entity 8. In the dim, echoing levels of the backrooms, there roams a creature that is part nightmare, part animal, the Hound. It appears as a skinny, humanoid dog. Its form is bipedal or quadrupedal, but often seen creeping on all fours. It has long black hair cascading from its head and unblinking black eyes with stark white pupils. Its mouth is a cavern of sharp, serrated teeth hidden behind hair. You may first encounter hounds in level 3, wandering among electrical stations and rooms. They are also present in level 5, where they roam hotel corridors and other enclosed spaces. The hound is deceptively passive until it notices you. Once it spots a wanderer, it growls, barks aggressively, and gives chase at a speed faster than most players can run. It closes the distance mercilessly, relentless in its pursuit. Yet there is a way to turn the tables. A strong light shown directly in the hound's eyes will blind it temporarily, giving you a chance to breathe. But don't linger. Once it recovers from the blindness, it will resume the chase. If you wander in a level and hear deep growls echo behind you, or see a dark, hair-covered creature bearing down on you, don't run blindly. Flash the light, shut the door, and don't lose direct eye contact. A single mistake might be the last step you take. Howler, Entity 0. In the first level, where emptiness meets the musty scent of neglect, something stirs. A dark silhouette made of wires and shadows, shaped like a tall, skeletal humanoid. Its head is smooth and black, its frame tangled with metallic cables that trail behind it like twisted veins. They call it the Howler, a creature born in level 0 and seen again in its sub-corridors. It emerges slowly, silently, until after a few minutes of wandering, it appears where you least expect. First, you hear knocks echoing from behind walls or doors, meant to lure you in. The sound telegraphs its presence, amplifying dread. Once it spots you, it gives chase relentlessly. It's faster, relentless, and guided by ruthless instinct. There is no negotiation. It pursues until you break the line of sight. Corners help. Dead ends might force it to vanish and reset elsewhere. Its presence is more than mechanical horror. Video and analog static distortions appear when you view it through cameras or VHS-style filters. The footage is corrupted, the world warps. It seems to feed on your perception, twisting what you see. If you ever hear the soft knocks in the yellowed walls, feel the static surge through your vision, or watch wires writhe in the darkness, run, duck around corners, hide, because the Howler is always listening, always howling. Kitty. This entity looms tall in a house painted pink, its black form stretching far above wanderers. Kitty is a lanky humanoid with unnaturally elongated limbs that end in no hands or feet. Its skin is matte black, like worn fabric or leather, and its silhouette moves smoothly and silently through the rooms. Though it has no visible face, it seems to sense presence as clearly as sight or sound. Inside, level 974, a rundown, pastel-colored home known as Kitty's house, the air feels still, almost sweet. Plush toys, pink wallpaper, and faded furniture create the illusion of comfort, but the silence hides a deeper dread. Kitty is the only known entity here, and this is its domain. At first, it appears harmless, watching quietly from the corners of rooms or behind furniture, but one rule defines your survival: never look away. The moment you break eye contact, Kitty begins to move, slowly at first, then faster with every passing second. If you look away for too long, it will be standing right behind you, and then it's already too late. Those who offer Kitty a gift, something cute or innocent, may also be spared, falling asleep and waking in safety. Wanderers say that Kitty behaves differently toward children. The level feels gentler, the food less sweet, the air lighter, as if the house itself shows mercy to those untouched by fear. If you ever find yourself in the pink halls of Kitty's house, remember, keep your eyes locked on the dark silhouette. Move slowly, collect the toys, and whatever you do, don't blink. Partygoer, Entity 67. They look like cheerful party guests, yellow humanoid figures clutching colorful balloons, standing still with blood staining their mouth, hands, and legs. At first glance, they seem harmless, just decorations at a twisted carnival. But the moment you enter their space, that illusion crumbles. On certain levels, these partygoers spring to life. They'll watch you, silent and unmoving, until your eyes meet theirs or you stray too close. Then the party ends. When they spot you, or if a blackout event hits and the lights or music vanish, they become aggressive en masse. All nearby partygoers abandon their posts and begin chasing you relentlessly. The only refuge? Dive under a table or sprint toward the exit. Once you hide, they eventually retreat and return to their original spots. Even during calm times, their voices echo faint fragments of cheerful lines, invitations to play, promises of fun, mentions of cake or arcade games, as if the laughter never truly left. In some levels, the presence of a companion called the Party Pooper serves as a beacon. If that entity signals caution by crouching, it means one of the partygoers is nearby. Failing to mirror the crouch will trigger pursuit. Matching it buys you safety while the others remain still. If you find yourself in a carnival of balloons and cheerful voices, remember, don't rush. Keep your head down. Let the confetti fall without suspicion, because the partygoers are watching, and they always know when the party has ended. Scratcher, Entity 64. A gaunt gray humanoid crawls low on all fours, its limbs unnaturally long, and its hands and legs disproportionately large. It has two glowing red eyes that pierce the darkness. Yet it remains blind to vision. It detects you by sound. You only meet it in the end, a cramped, forbidding level where silence is golden and every noise becomes a beacon. There, the Scratcher wanders aimlessly until you make a sound, move or speak near it, or pick up one of the tapes scattered around, and it will detect you. Once alerted, it charges forward at terrifying speed, faster than any wanderer can run. One wrong whisper or hurried step, and you might never escape. Skin Stealer, Entity 10. A tall, gray humanoid with haunting white eyes and a mouth stretched all the way down its torso. Its skin is smeared with blood, especially around the mouth, a grisly mask hiding something far more deceptive. On first glance, it might look like just another wanderer, but do not be fooled. Skin stealers have the ability to steal the skin of other victims, pulling it over their own body to impersonate them, perfectly mimicking their appearance, even their voice. They may greet you with friendly phrases to lull you into a false sense of safety. But once they draw near enough, the disguise flickers, falling away to reveal their true, monstrous form. At that moment, their intent becomes deadly clear. If you ever see someone approaching you with glowing white eyes, unnervingly calm greeting, or silent approach behind you, check carefully. Don't let the facade deceive you, because once the skin falls away, there is no escape. The Smiler, Entity 3. They dwell in darkness, a floating face, grinning wide with razor-sharp teeth, eyes glowing faintly in the black. Smilers are shadow-like manifestations, lurking where light dares not reach. Their presence is tied to darkness. When lights flicker or fade, they emerge en masse, closing in from every shadow. In some levels, their bodies take on spider-like forms, with limbs that creep forward through pipes or edges of darkness. In others, they remain nothing more than floating, horrifying faces, featureless, aside from that monstrous grin. Their behavior is merciless. In darkness, they spawn in numbers and chase relentlessly, moving faster than any wanderer can run. A glowing light is not always sanctuary. Sometimes it shatters, or is extinguished just as you think you're safe, leaving you vulnerable. Formless echoes of torment, twisted reflections of happiness, turned nightmare. In the labyrinth of levels, every flicker of darkness invites their grin. If you ever find yourself in corridors where the lights die out, or the dark corners seem to smile back at you, remember this: don't panic. Keep a light in hand. Hesitation, or turning away, could be the last thing you ever do. The Neighborhood Watch, Entity 96. In the sun-faded streets of Level 9, the neighborhood is not just watched, it is guarded. Looming above the empty roads is a colossal eyeball, perched on 4 long green leg-limb hybrids that end not in feet, but in hands. Its iris is warm brown, the surrounding sclera tinged with red-brown stains, as if soaked in rust or blood. This monstrous sentinel patrols the suburban avenue endlessly. If it sees you out in the open roads, it becomes faster than flesh and bone can run. Its vision is ruthless. Its sight cuts through any wanderer in its line of sight without mercy. The Thing on Level 7, Entity 20. Deep beneath the cold, dim light of Level 7's endless waters lies a monster of immeasurable scale. Known only as the Thing, it appears as a massive, fish-like leviathan, an enormous angler fish drifting in the ocean's depths, the only entity truly claimed by this level. Down there, in the pressure and blackness, the Thing waits. Its body defies comprehension. No one has ever seen it in its entirety, not its head nor its tail. Some describe it as an eel, others as a whale-sized creature, covered in scars, gills, and patches of rough, leathery skin. Whatever it is, it moves slowly, deliberately, and every motion sends waves that crash through the level like storms. It does not always hunt. Sometimes the water ripples simply because it stirs, as if shifting in its ancient sleep. But when it awakens, its presence alone is enough to drown. Those who swim too deep rarely return, and those who do remember only a glimpse, a mouth larger than a house, rows of teeth like broken glass, and an eye the size of a doorway watching them from the dark. Strangely, its flesh can be consumed. Explorers who have harvested it found it edible but foul, tasting of rot and ammonia, thick with parasites that somehow do no harm. It sustains life, but offers no comfort. No radio, no camera, no sonar functions properly in its waters. The deeper you go, the more sound fades into nothing. Communication dies, and only the heartbeat of the ocean remains. If you ever descend into Level 7's waters, bring rope, keep near the concrete walls, never swim too deep, and never chase what you see moving below. Because in that silent abyss, the water itself is alive, and the Thing is always watching. Window Entity, Entity 2, a gaunt, gray humanoid with reptile-like skin, sharp claws, and bright red eyes. It stands still behind windows, silent, bony, skeletal in appearance, as though it's been waiting for someone to come too close. Occasionally it knocks on the glass, drawing the wanderer's attention. Step too close, and the glass shatters. The entity breaks through and drags you in, ending any hope of escape. Your key defenses are distance and caution. Avoid moving straight toward windows, especially in hotel rooms. If you ever find yourself standing before a window that seems too still, with a silhouette behind the glass, stop, back away. Don't assume it's just a reflection, because behind each window, something may be watching. Waiting. Wretch, Entity 15. Once human, now lost. Wretches are wanderers consumed by insanity, twisted by deprivation, hunger, thirst, or endless sleepless nights. Their sanity fractures, and they emerge as skinless, red-fleshed horrors. Their shape remains humanoid, but their flesh is peeled away, exposing raw muscle, tissue, and bone. Eyes become hollow cavities. Their whole form becomes a grotesque mockery of what once was. They rely on hearing. If you crouch beside the walls, you can remain undetected. Corridors provide safe hiding spaces to avoid their attention. A tool like a LiDAR scanner will show a red dot approaching, and heavy breathing grows louder as they draw near. Wretches exist in a process known as the wretched cycle, a three-stage transformation. First comes itchiness, psychological strain, and erratic thoughts. Next, flesh begins to dissolve, pustules, holes, bleeding orifices, rotten sludge leaking from mouths. Final stage is a complete break. Nails and teeth warp around the body, skin dissolves entirely, eyelids vanish, so eyes are always open, voices lost or replaced with only moans. The subject loses nearly all trace of their former self. Some variants are more dangerous. Parasites such as fungi or swarms of deathmoths may infest them. Others carry abnormal strength or deformities, extra limbs or mutated shapes. Some even become unpredictable in reality, phasing or becoming intangible. To survive an encounter, keep moving, crouch quietly in dark corridors, hide in secure rooms or vents, lock doors behind you, listen for heavy breathing or footsteps, and use tools to gauge proximity. If you ever wander the lonely halls feeling thirst, exhaustion, or the blazing itch, don't ignore the signs, because those are the first steps toward becoming one of them, the wretches, hungry, broken, and relentless. That's it for today. Don't forget to push the new hype button and thumbs up under the video, or even subscribe if you found this video to be interesting. I'll be waiting for you in Save Room Archives. Thanks for watching, and may all the creepy stuff pass you by.